Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesday, and today we're going to be talking about chars. Chars, or characters, basically incorporate all alphanumerical values, unlike strings that only accept letters, and unlike integers that only accept numerical values. Another cool thing about chars is that they accept some glyphs, like the special characters, so Greek letters and things like that. So today we're going to be learning about how we can apply this knowledge in C#, and well, let's see if we make something cool with it. Alright, so what you're going to do is open up your C# Visual Studio IDE, and if you don't know how to do that, please refer back to the very first video I've made, basic C# syntax and installing your first IDE, or else the rest of this video won't make sense. Links are in the description. Alright, so how do we cast out chars? Well, if I want to just initialize a char, I'm going to simply write out char, and I got to just assign it a letter. Like most things, like strings, bools, we always assign it some, namespace. And I'm just going to call it char A, and that's going to just equal single quotes, so and that's going to just equal B. And very important to put the semicolon after. And so there we go. I've just initialized my very first char A equals B. And just to prove to you that this works, if I do console.writeLine, and I just do B inside the parentheses, we should, and then semicolon, and then when I run it, we should just get char B being outputted. And once that runs, and I almost forgot, actually I did forget, I have to put console.read key, which is always annoying. And there we go. And let me just fix that right there, char A. Sorry. And once I print that to the console, we should get B outputted. And as you can see, B has been outputted to the console. And really quickly, I made that mistake by putting B there, but in fact, you have to put A there because A equals B, and that's how we get the B to print out. Now, like I said before, or mentioned before, it's very important that the char is in single quotes. It cannot be double quotes. That's just the rules of chars. Like strings and other stuff, and they might take double quotes, but chars, very specific, has to be single quotes. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to escape characters. And you might be wondering, what are escape characters? Well, escape characters are, very important when you are writing out code and trying to come up with an interface. That is because when you're writing out escape characters, it also formatting things like, enter and tab and different ways so you can space out your context when you are when you're creating it. So, in order to come up with these escape characters, what you're going to want to do is we need to initialize another char, and we're going to call that char. We'll call it char B equals single quote, and then we're going to do \n. Now that, I think it's /. And that is pretty much the most fundamental escape character there is, in my opinion, and that is because that is the simple one saying new line, or it gives you a space in between. So the way how then we display that as text in the terminal, it's going to be like this: console.writeLine, then close parentheses, and then we're going to do B, which is going to output to the console, the terminal, whatever you want to call it, B, that escape character, and then we're going to just do console.writeLine A again. And just to prove to you that this works, I'm going to hit start, and as you can see, B space B. Now, you might be wondering, why are there two spaces? And that's because when you're writing console.writeLine, it automatically brings you to a whole new line. So then when you put the escape character in, it's telling you to then make another line, and then the third console.writeLine is saying put another line, and that's how you get double space in between. That's just the logic of the C#. Otherwise, you might not have to do console.writeLine, you have to do something else, so you only get single space. Now, when writing C# and you want to just get a single space line, we're going to have to initialize a string. Now, this might be a bit more complicated, but I think because if you watch strings video, this should be a bit more of a breeze for you. Now, we're going to initialize the string. I'm going to call that string J, and that's going to equal double quote, and I'll explain to you that in a second. And it's going to be plus A plus B, and then plus A again. And let me just fix that up right there, and semicolon. Now, the double quotes are there because it's a quick very quick way of converting a string to an integer, and that's because we're doing some addition here. Now, the reason why I showed you the converter last week, it's not to be confused with this one. The converter I showed you last week is really good for converting a lot more data. This is just a very simple line right here. But when you're doing multiple lines of code, you're probably better off using the converter. Now, just to finish this up, we can delete these two console.write lines here, and we can put a J here for the string. And when we print this out, I'll show you that we get just that space right there. It just tabs down 1. Now, you might be thinking, hey, why isn't there 1 space? And that's because if you look at the logic, it's essentially just saying print and then, so start a new line and then this character here, and then print another new line, and then just goes down 1 line. So it's kind of just some simple C# context, or logic, I mean, but I think you'll get the hang of it. Essentially, it's pretty much hard to achieve getting a single space, true single space in C#, just in the terminal specifically, but once you move to more interfacing, it can be done. Alright, so finally, the very last escape character that I want to show you today is the tab escape character. And basically, very easy, all you do is change the N out for a T, and now if we click start our code, we're going to see that a tab has been created. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and pretty great for especially when you're doing interfacing in C#. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share this video with some friends, as always, so we can teach more people about C#. As always, comment down below if you have any feedback, because it only makes these videos better. And, well, that's pretty much it for today. See you in the next video. Peace.